Good afternoon to everybody. Trust and will that you had a good week and that your weekend is ending better and that you're going to start off the following week even better, more supreme than before. I am Lord Supreme. Welcome to my YouTube live channel. I appreciate y'all brothers and sisters that's taking the time to actually watch and get some insight on what's being said and what's being expressed. Truly appreciate your support. So without further ado, let's get into it. So when we're dealing with today's supreme mathematics, we're dealing with two things that's one and the same. You know what I'm saying? Today's math is knowledge. All right? So today is February 11th, 2023. And our supreme mathematics, knowledge is one. So two of the same things, we just say knowledge. You feel what I'm saying? In today's degree, and the 1 to 14, it asks, have you not heard that your word is born regardless to whom or what? Answer, yes, my word is born, and born means life, and I will give my life before my word shall fail. Now, I know a lot of times when individuals hear this phrase, they already know what it means. You know, like, yeah, I'm holding myself accountable for what I'm saying. I'm being responsible for what I'm doing, and I'm handling situations accordingly. All right? Now, one thing for sure, to discern, you don't always have to tell somebody that your word is born. You know what I'm saying? Your ways and actions will help portray whether or not you go through with your expression of agreement or you don't fall through with it. And the only person that it really does affect is you, because that basically means that you're lying to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, you got to realize that there's certain things that we have a contract or agreement within ourselves. Now, a lot of individuals might be like, well, how can you have a bond with something that you just formally expressed? Well, the actual term is bind. Not, you know what I'm saying? We ain't saying word is bind. We're saying that from the word bond comes bind. Bind is an agreement. It's a tie in between two things. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody says you're binded into your contract, that means you're tied into your contract. That means that you don't agreed, you don't express, and you don't let it be known that this is what you're going to do and this is how you're going to go about doing it. All right? So when you have a bond, that is a superlative of bind, which means to keep ties with, to hold on to not let go, and make sure that you have a firm grip on whatever it is. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to the come down, you got to hold yourself accountable and responsible for what you say, do, and express. That's why word is bond. It's highly imperative and important because it's pertinent to what you're telling somebody. If you're telling somebody that you're going to hold them to a certain standard in life, they got to hold themselves to their word. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to tell somebody that you're supposed to make this much, many amounts of weeks. For instance, I'll give you a good example of what I mean when I say what I say. Let's just say, for instance, your coworker has a deadline that he has to meet. Let's just say that you need 2,000 copies of whatever you have printed out and graphically designed, and it has to be in his office by Monday, and it's Saturday. So, with you holding yourself accountable and responsible, you will always make sure and ensure that your deadline is met. Otherwise, you fail to complete your objectives. So now, when it comes down to holding yourself accountable, would your coworker consider you a candidate for getting the job done? Maybe not. Or he might consider you a candidate for getting a job done. However, you just kind of fell a little short. You know what I'm saying? So dealing with that whole idea and ideology, you have to be well-rounded and stable to make sure that you're able to be disciplined and controlled to be able to complete the task at hand, which is printing out those 2,000 copies before Monday morning. So that way, by the time your coworker comes and asks you, do you got those 2,000 copies? You're going to say, yes, sir, I have them. They're right there in your office. I brought them there 8 o'clock in the morning. I know you needed them by like 9:30, 10 o'clock, but I put them on your desk early so that way you can have a head start. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's fairly important that when you have a binding contract, that you bond yourself or marry yourself in the mind of that contract. Because if you don't marry yourself in the mind of that contract, then that means that you're going to fuck around and fail to deliver accordingly. You know what I'm saying?